Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Craig Schlosser, and I serve as the President and CEO of the Morris County Economic Development Alliance. And on behalf of our many partners that you're going to get a chance to meet with today, including the New Jersey Business Action Center, the IRS Taxpayer Advocate, and we also too have the Division of Taxation University for the state of New Jersey. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our webinar program, what is important for small business owners navigating taxes for small business. I have to thank our partners for listening, reaching out to me, and putting together an absolutely outstanding program today. Now, a couple things that are important. If you do have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We will get to Q&A at the end as we go through for things. If you have any questions after the program, there will be a way to reach out to our different panelists and hosts for it and look for more upcoming great programs that we have for it. Today's program is designed to give you an overview of some key elements that are so important for our small business community related to taxes, and so many of the outstanding resources that are available to go ahead and help you be successful in your business. So without further ado, I want to pass it over to Anthony Martinez with the New Jersey Business Action Center, who is a fabulous partner. And without his support and so many of the other wonderful people that you're going to meet today, we wouldn't be able to put this program together. So without further ado, Anthony, I'm going to turn the program over to you, and thank you again for your leadership and partnership.
Thank you. I'll have to give you that $5 for that nice introduction later on. Hi, folks. How are you? My name is Anthony Martinez, and I'm the Assistant Manager of Small Business Advocacy for the New Jersey Business Action Center. So let me give you just a little information, a little brief overview of who we are and what it is we do. So the New Jersey Business Action Center has been around for over 30 years. We work out of the Secretary of State Department. We work for Lieutenant Governor Tehesha Way and the Secretary of State Tehesha Way. She's one and the same person. I want to greet you on behalf of both her and Melanie Willoughby, our Executive Director. And I'll give you a brief overview of the New Jersey Business Action Center. Well, within the New Jersey Business Action Center, there's a few units dedicated to assisting small businesses such as yourself. First off, we have our business advocates, which provide site assistance and project management assistance. Those are some of the things they do. And then where you'll find me is with small business advocacy. We provide site assistance, government assistance if you're looking to be certified to do business with the state, your small business enterprise, minority business enterprise, women business enterprise, veteran-owned business, disabled veteran-owned business, or the new LGBTQ certification. We can assist you with those applications and those regulatory processes. Also, we can assist you if the product or service you sell is regulated by any State of New Jersey department. We can assist you with those applications and, again, those regulatory processes as well. We also have our Office of Export Promotion, which works with businesses, small businesses looking to do anything that has to do with exporting out of the state of New Jersey. So let's say you need an export plan, they can assist you with that, identifying global markets and things of that nature. There's also the availability of the STEP grant, the State Trade Expansion Program grant, which can be used to attend international trade shows, translate your marketing materials, translate your website, and again, things of that nature. And we have our planning advocates, which work with municipalities to create their plans for future growth, the environment, mixed-use redevelopment and redevelopment. And also, we have partnered with the Cannabis Regulatory Commission. We have the Cannabis Training Academy, which provides technical assistance and capacity building to those individuals and businesses that want to get into that industry. Also, I'm going to put in the chat, because we have the availability of our business helpline, the 1-800-JERSEY-7 number, and the business.nj.gov live chat, where you can speak with our one of our representatives in English and in Spanish, where we also have Spanish-speaking representatives as well. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to pass you off to Craig. So the next person up, I believe, is Abra. Is that a? No,
Anthony,
I'm sorry.
Anthony, thank you so much we'll go to Abra first in terms of how we're going to do that. And thank you for all the partnership that you do over at the New Jersey Business Action Center. I think one thing that's really important about the Business Action Center, if you're a business and you have a question, contact the Business Action Center. They're an absolute great partner. Their website chat is really effective. If you haven't used it, I really encourage you to. There's a lot of great resources, and they have a ton of great things on their website in terms of their newsletters to go ahead and subscribe to. It's one of those things that when you look at what the state has done and what Melanie has done under her leadership, it's an absolutely fantastic component with it. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Abra Watson. She is with the Division of Taxation for the state of New Jersey. Now, something that is super, super cool, just for me talking with Abra ahead of time. We have someone on that wants to help you and help you educate and be proactive in terms of your approach with the state. I'm so excited to hear what Abra has to tell. And there's some really cool follow-up programs that the state has too. So make sure you pay attention. There's some awesome resources here that can really help you and be successful. And remember, the more proactive you are, the better chance you have for people in the state that want to work with you and help you. They can help you because they're proactive with you. So Abra?
Thank you so much for that great introduction. I am going to share my screen. So hopefully. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Make sure
yes, we can.
Excellent. So today, as Craig already said, I work for the Division of Taxation, and specifically I work for a unit called Taxation University. And what we do is we educate the public, we educate our employees on New Jersey taxes and their New Jersey tax obligations. So today, I'm kind of going to give you a brief glimpse of some of what we do. We do a lot of things called small business workshops. So we do them virtually. We do them in person on occasion. We are starting to return to that. But that's really where we can dig into the details. But today is almost like a commercial on the information that you can get by having a speaker from Taxation University come out or do a virtual event for you. So navigating taxes for small businesses, specifically today, I'm going to go over briefly how you form in New Jersey, how you authorize if you are a foreign corporation coming into our state to do business or a foreign entity, and how you register your business. Very brief, we're just going to touch it today. We'll also talk about understanding your tax responsibilities. How do you report and pay tax on the income that your business generates? How do you collect and pay New Jersey trust fund taxes? The two biggies that we will just touch on briefly is sales tax and payroll taxes. And then we will end today by talking about some contacts and some resources that are beneficial for you moving forward. So forming or authorizing your business, the first thing that you have to do is choose the proper business structure. Which structure really is going to fit your needs? And there are a lot of things that you want to look at when it comes to choosing a business structure. What are your legal, your financial, your operational needs? Is it a risky business which requires more protection for your personal assets? All of these things that you'll want to consider. Also, the tax implications of the business structure that you choose. Corporations in New Jersey have an automatic tax liability every year, even if you don't generate a profit. So that's something important to know. Again, each structure has its benefits, each structure has its drawbacks. We don't really advise you on that. So if you reach out to Taxation University and say, hey, I want you to come out and tell us what type of business that we should form, but that is not something we would do. We would instead refer you to some of our partner agencies, like maybe the Business Action Center or the Small Business Development Centers would be a better places to go to make those type of decisions. So types of business structures. There are two main categories. You have your individual structures, which is a sole proprietorship or a general partnership. And then you have your legal business structures, which are your limited partnerships, your limited liability partnership, your limited liability company, your S corporation, your C corporation. Again, we're not going to really get into the differences today. If you want us to come out and speak about that, we certainly can, and we really dig in on these topics. So the registration process differs a little depending on the type of structure that you decide to form. If you go with an individual structure, which is a partnership or a general partnership or a sole proprietorship, it's a lot easier to set up. You start it in the county that you are going to operate your business. You pay a $50 fee to register a trade name. You obtain a EIN from the IRS, all free, and you complete the NJ Reg form with the Division of Revenue that tells us who you are, what you're doing, how often you're doing it. If you're forming a business entity, those are any business structures that have an L in the name, or a corporation, then your first step is to confirm that the name that you want to use is available. Once you've done that, you obtain an EIN from the IRS. Then you form your business with revenue. That's going to cost $125. It is a one-time fee. And then you complete your NJ Reg form. And by completing the NJ Reg form, again, you're letting us know who you are, what you're doing, how often you're doing it. Now, if you are forming a legal entity or a business entity, which are any of our L structures, or a corporation, you need something called a registered agent. A registered agent is an individual or an entity that has been designated by the business to receive notices, legal notices, process notices, government correspondence. Those things are sent to the registered agent. The registered agent is not responsible to file or do anything on behalf of the business. They are merely to accept mail legal notifications on behalf of the business. Every legal entity must have a registered agent in order to form or get authorized in this state. The registered agent has to be at least 18 years old or older if it's an individual. Whether it's an individual or another business that's your registered agent, they must have a physical presence in New Jersey, a physical address in New Jersey. They must also be available during business hours to receive mail on behalf of your business. The business owner can decide to be the registered agent for the business as long as they meet those requirements. They have to be at least 18 years old. They have to have a physical presence in New Jersey, a physical address in New Jersey, and be available during normal business hours. When it comes to a registered agent, one of the most important things that they receive is the notice to do your annual report. Anytime you form an L structure or a corporation, you must let us know that who the responsible people are, who the registered agent is, and you have to let us know every year. You have to update us. Yes, we're still physically located here. Yes, it's still the same registered agent. Yes, we still have the same corporate officers that are in charge. You have to do it, and if you don't do it, you can end up losing your right to do business in New Jersey. So it's really, really important that you do this every year. That's why it's important that you have a registered agent that you have a regular relationship with to make sure you're getting these type of important notices. The annual report, again, is due the anniversary month from your formation, and it is $75 a year. So it's very important to do it. If you miss 2 years, you can end up having your authority to do business in New Jersey revoked, or your corporation or entity can be voided. So now let's talk about, now that you're all good on the registration side of things, how does this affect taxation? What are my tax responsibilities? Well, you have to pay tax on any income that your business is generating. But how you do that depends on the type of entity that you form. If you form a pass-through entity, the tax is not paid at the business level. Instead, the owners or members of that business now report their allocated share of the business's profits on their personal tax return or on their individual tax return. So the income flows through the business and down to the owner, and the owner reports the income when they file their personal return. C corporations, however, are not pass-through entities. What that means is that the corporation is responsible to pay any tax that the corporation is generating. So the tax is paid at the business level on any profits. Now, one downside to the corporation is that if the corporation now chooses to distribute some of those earnings to the stockholders or the owners, they must also report that income and pay tax on it. So when it comes to C corporations, there is a double taxation that might occur because of that. So the sole proprietor, again, it is a pass-through. What that means for the sole proprietor or the single member LLC, there is no business return. Instead, the profits are reported on a federal Schedule C. The net profits are reported on the personal tax return and taxes are paid. If we're dealing with a partnership or an LLC that is operating as a partnership, there is a business return that's required. However, the tax on the income is not paid at the business level. Instead, the income flows through to each of the partners, and each partner reports their share of the income on their personal tax return, and they pay any tax due. A C corporation or an LLC that is operating as a C corporation, they must file a business return and they must pay taxes on any income that the business is generating. Any net income that they decide to distribute to their shareholders, that is reported as dividend income, and taxes must be paid on dividends. If it's an S corporation, that is a corporation that elects to be taxed like they're a partnership. In other words, they elect to pass through their income instead of paying the tax at the corporate level. There is still a business return that's required, but the shareholders are required to report their net pro rata share of the S Corp's income and pay tax on it when they file their personal return. So that's the income tax portion in a nutshell. And I'm almost done. So what about trust fund taxes? Trust fund taxes are taxes that are collected from either purchasers or employees and remitted on behalf of the state. The two biggies are sales tax and gross income tax withholding, also known as payroll taxes. Those taxes, again, are called trust taxes because you are collecting it on behalf or as a representative of the state. So when it comes to sales tax, if you are selling taxable products or services, and you can look in our sales and use tax guide, the SNU 4, which will give you a list of taxable and exempt products and services in the state. If what you are selling is taxable, then you are required to collect sales tax from your customers when you sell those items. You are also required to file a quarterly return called the Form ST50 online and to report and remit any tax that you collected to the and remitted to the state. Gross income tax withholding, also known as payroll taxes, really is dependent on whether or not you have employees. Once you decide you want to have employees, then you will be required to withhold New Jersey income tax from your employees' wages. And you're required to file quarterly on the Form NJ 927 to report the wages that you paid and to remit any tax that you withheld on behalf of your employees. And that is pretty much it. Let's talk about some contacts, some important contacts. If you are a business owner, certain businesses in this state require licensing. You have to be certified. If you're not certain if that's you, I recommend that you reach out to the Division of Consumer Affairs. They have a hotline set up. They also have a website. Just double check and make sure that what you desire to do to determine whether or not that there is some sort of certification or licensing requirement. Other agencies that you would want to contact would be our Division of Revenue at 609-292-9292. They help with any formation questions that you might have. If you have registration questions, if you had an entity ID but you misplaced it, things like that, they would be able to assist you with that. If you have employees, you may need to contact the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor handles questions as it relates to unemployment benefits, temporary disability, family leave insurance, those type of questions they would be able to answer. Also, if you're not really certain if the person that you've hired is actually an employee or whether or not they're an independent contractor, those are questions that the Department of Labor can address with you. Of course, we have Taxation's Customer Service Call Center, a very good resource. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And our main number is 609-292-6400. They are there to answer any tax questions that you might have. If you're not really sure if the product that you're selling is subject to sales tax, this is the number you want to call. If you're not really, or if you receive some sort of billing notice from us, this is the number that you want to call to discuss those type of matters. Now, remember, I was saying before, if you have questions about what type of business structure should I form? What about a business plan? I really need help with marketing. Those type of questions, you really want to use some of these free or low-cost resources, such as the New Jersey Business Action Center. You already heard from Anthony Martinez a little bit earlier. We have our Small Business Development Centers, an excellent resource. There's SCORE, there's the Small Business Administration, and a lot of these are like all sister agencies, and we work closely with them. We also do some of our small business workshops in partnership with these agencies. We have the Women's Center for Entrepreneurship, New Jersey State Libraries. All of these different agencies are excellent resources that can help you for either free or at a very low cost. You can reach us at Taxation. We are on social media, yay. So we're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter. So look us up. Go on our website. We have videos on our website, information on our website, lots of tax publications that may help you and may address your questions. And sign up for e-news. E-news is really excellent. So if you go on our webpage and there's that side panel there, if you click on news, that takes you to e-news where you can sign up, subscribe, and you can get basically blasts from us when things are changing. And it doesn't have to be everything. You can pick and choose what taxes you would like information on. But it's a really good resource and it helps you kind of be ahead of things. If there's something changing with sales tax, you'll know. There'll be a blast that's sent out. So it's a really good resource. It is not something we don't keep your, we don't use that information to look you up or try to figure out if you're paying your taxes or not. Nothing like that. So feel free to sign up for our e-news. And that is it for me. I tried not to talk too much.
Awesome. Super job. Outstanding resources and some really great things with it. And I know you brought up the New Jersey Small Business Development Center. So I just wanted to take a second real quick now and have Kelly introduce herself, briefly talk about the New Jersey Small Business Development Center and all the wonderful things they do with it. So thank you so much for just a super outstanding job with that. And most importantly, there's so many great resources that's available to you as a small business owner. I think a lot of times it's just realizing, one, the state does want to help you. That's why we do programs like this. Two, if you're proactive in reaching out, you're in a much better situation than when you become reactive. So the proactive component of this communication is so important. And I think that's one reason, especially where the small business development centers are so helpful with stuff. So Kelly, if you just want to give a quick introduction about the New Jersey Small Business Development Center and all the wonderful things you and the team do.
Great, thank you. And I appreciate being here and being able to talk about the resources that we have. So the New Jersey Small Business Development Center Network is really a hub and spoke model where we are a hub of resources where we want you to come to us for no-cost consulting or no-cost, low-cost training programs for anybody who wants to start, grow, expand, and all the things that are in between starting, growing, and exiting a business. So between marketing and cyber to procurement to certifications so we have a plethora of resources. We bring people from the community with their talent to serve the community. So we want to make sure that we bring in that expertise that can help. And we partner with everybody here. We have a great relationship with the Business Action Center, and they're a partner of ours. We get part of our funding through SBA, our federal partner that provides part of the resources to be able to offer these no-cost consulting sessions that we put on. But the reality is we are a community partnership engagement organization. We have 11 centers across the state. We cover every county. We have boots on the ground, as well as we work with hybrid. So whether you want to come in person or you want to have it on a Zoom meeting and do a consultation session, we can make it work for you. So, and again, just talking about some of the resources that we have, most of the people that are coming to us are believing, and I say believing because sometimes when we sit down with them, we help them go through their budgets and things. They believe that they need financing, funding. So we put together a capital team specific to address those issues to make sure that people have access to capital, whether that's in contracting grants that NJEDA provides, or other opportunities such as bank loans, venture capital, things like that. So we can help migrate through that whole process. We also, the second thing, the majority of what people come to us asking for is marketing help. So social media, marketing, website development, all of the things like that. That's a big one for us. And so we have all of our programming, both in English and in Spanish, to make sure that we will meet the businesses or their prospective business at their comfort level, whatever helps them to learn better, faster, easier. We want to be there. And then thirdly, we also have people that speak multiple different languages. So not just Spanish. Spanish is a given, which we want every center is required to have a minimum of one bilingual consultant. But we have people that speak Portuguese and German and French and Hebrew and all of the above, that we want to make sure that we have language skills available, as well as so multiple different languages. I mean, it continues to add on as needed, when we get people to come in and populations that need our help. So I just want you to know that the New Jersey Small Business Development Center is a great partner. We work very closely with the Morris Chamber of Commerce and the Alliance. We work with the Business Action Center. We work with other business organizations. And if you come to us, let us holistically evaluate your business to where your needs are. And we may or may not be the solution, but we can get you seamlessly to that next resource. And that's our goal, is to make sure that there's the least amount of confusion of what is the best resource for you. And again, it may or may not be us, but we will make sure we get you to the right resource. So thank you. And know that NJSBDC is here as a partner, as a resource, and we want to help you in whatever pathway you're looking to go down. So thanks, Craig.
My pleasure. No, thank you, Kelly, and thank you to you and your team for all the outstanding work they do here. We're very fortunate to work with Matt over at the NJSBDC at FDU. He's a great partner, and there's so many great programs you brought to the market, like the SBIR STTR program, working what you've done with Judith with CSIT. There's a lot of really good resources that are available for you as a small business beyond just that startup stage. So if you are a little bit more sophisticated, there's a lot of great opportunities you have with that. So next up, we're going to switch on over and we're going to go to Daryl Tucker, who is the taxpayer advocate, which is part of the IRS. Daryl will give you a run through of all the great resources that they have there on the federal level that can go ahead and help you. And then we have 2 or 3 questions we're going to do real quick at the end for a Q&A that I'll ask out to our panelists for a couple quick pieces of feedback, and we'll have you out of here in about 45, 50 minutes, which is a great time for you on the webinar, and there'll be great follow-up resources that you can go ahead and go through. So without further ado, Daryl, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. The floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I do apologize. There's a systematic problem with accessing information on our computers. I'm unable to show you a PowerPoint. I did have a short PowerPoint for you, but for those that are on the call, I'm with the Taxpayer Advocate Service. We're an independent organization within the IRS. We provide free service to all the eligible taxpayers, to include business owners. There's no income limit involved in that. We help you resolve some of the problems that you may be experiencing with the IRS, and you can't seem to reach a resolution with them. To the extent possible, we propose changes in the administrative practices of the IRS to mitigate problems. We identify potential legislative changes to mitigate such problems as well. We have offices throughout the country. In the state of New Jersey, my office just opened 2 years ago in August of 2021. We have another office in Springfield, New Jersey, which has the a local taxpayer advocates such as myself and a group of employees there. So that office is available to you as well if you're in North Jersey. And essentially what we do, we protect your rights by striving to ensure you're treated fairly and understand your rights as outlined in the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. We help you where systems fail to operate as intended, or the efforts to resolve an issue that you may be having with the IRS. And if you qualify for help, we'll be there with you every step of the way. And all the services that we provide are free. okay? As I said earlier, we have a taxpayer bill of rights. There's 10 of those, and I will share this information with Anthony or someone to get this out to you on this PDF that I have, and it has some more information there for you as well, all right? My boss, who is Erin Collins, she reports directly to Congress. We don't report to IRS because that establishes our independence. She reports directly to Congress twice a year. We have an annual report to Congress, and then we have a report to Congress in July that outlines legislative recommendations and changes that need to be made, all right? And how can we help you as a business owner? We help you meet your filing requirements, share resources for information and tax return preparation, and we also help you file accurate returns, all right? One of the key elements of your operating a business, proper record keeping, employment tax, employees versus independent contractor, and selecting their qualified tax professional. There's where we have the most issues, where people are not hiring qualified individuals to prepare their tax returns. And we have information which forms to file, such as a sole prop. You're required to file a 1040, Schedule C or F. Partnerships, it's an annual return, it's 1065. Employment taxes are covered on 940, 941, 944, or 943. Partnerships, individuals, income tax, 1040 is the form of employment taxes, 1040, estimated tax, 1040 ES. Corporations, C or S. Income tax, C corporation, you're required to file an 1120. Income tax, S corporation, you're required to file 1120S. Estimated tax is 1120W, C corp only. And then the S corporation shareholders, income tax, form 1040, 1040 SR, Schedule E. One of the most important things you can do as a business owner is maintain good record keeping. You may have different types of returns that are due at different times throughout the year, but it's very important that you have someone who's qualified, if you're not familiar with preparing these returns, to have them to prepare them for you and file them timely. That's very, very important, okay? In rare instances, the law does dictate the type of record keeping systems you must have in place. Good system for business owners will require little training and allow you to quickly scan and catalog expenses and receipts for proper categories. Many accounting firms may offer administrative assistance to train and make recommendations to your office staff and small businesses. So there's available resources out there for you. What type of records should be maintained? We can cover that as well. Everyone, that question always comes up. How long must I maintain my records? I would tell you, based on my experiences, I would say no less than 7 years. All right. Gross receipts or income you're receiving from your business. You should keep all supporting documents that show the amounts and resources of your gross receipts. Documents show gross receipts or cash register tapes, bank deposit slips, receipt books, invoices, credit card charge slips, 1099 miscellaneous, 1099 non-employee compensation. Inventories, items such as canceled checks, again, cash register tape receipts, credit card sales slips, and other invoices, all right? Inventory items, merchandise withdrawn from sale. Those are important documents that you need to have. Here's the question: how long to keep records? And it says here, for the general rule of thumb is to retain records for at least 6 years. I said 7 earlier, but couple of things I want you to be aware of. The assessment statute for tax renewal is generally 3 years from the date you file the tax return or the due date if you do not file. The assessment statute for tax on income you do not report is 6 years. If it's more than 25% of gross income shown on the return or is attributed to foreign financial assets and is more than 5,000. The refund limitation statute is 3 years from the due date of the return or 2 years from the date you paid the tax, whichever is later. The period of filing a claim for overpayment resulting from a bad debt deduction is 7 years from when the return was due. For this reason, general rule of thumb is to retain your records for at least 6 years. I'm going to share my contact information at the very end. If you have questions, you can feel free to call me. And again, I will get this PDF file out so that it could be shared with you. And I do apologize that something's wrong with my computer here. I'm unable to access the Zoom call through my government computer. I'm utilizing my cell phone. All right, but I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. If you're dealing with an IRS situation and you've tried to get the issues resolved and you haven't been able to, you definitely need to call my office to assist with trying to get that resolved. So what happens is that when you contact us, we deal directly with the IRS on your behalf, all right, and keep you informed along the way. That's all I have at the moment. And again, I apologize for the slides.
It's all good. No, we're just glad to have you. And thank you so much for your insight and sharing things with us. I think one thing that's important to know is that there's help for you here at the state level and the federal level. There's resources to help you grow your business and be able to understand it. So one thing I was going to say, we have one question that I think is really important for us that we can go through across the group, just because so many of us are civic minded and what we want to do. And I'll let this go across the panel to start. Is the process or are the paperwork or the forms different if you're looking to create a nonprofit entity? So let's go ahead and we'll start that off with it first with it. So whoever for the panel would like to jump in and go first with it and just give us a quick answer on the difference in terms of a nonprofit here versus a for-profit entity and whether or not that's something that we want to do. And maybe Daryl, you want to answer that real quick too?
There's an application process that goes out to our office out of the Covington, Cincinnati, Ohio, Covington, Kentucky office that handles all requests for nonprofits because that involves filing of 990 tax returns. So that application has to go there. They review it and assign you and tell you what your filing requirements are, and also provide you with the employment identification number.
Awesome. No, that's perfect to know because I know that's something that most people aren't actually familiar with. So
yes,
we'll go
and
on.
One other thing I would like to add to that, if you become a nonprofit and you fail to file your 990s for at least 3 years, they will suspend your ability to run a business as a nonprofit. All right, so therefore you would have to have that reinstated after 3 years of non-filing tax returns.
No, that's a great point to bring up, and I'm glad you brought that up, Daryl. It's nonprofits are very, very different. Abra, anything you would like to add in from a Division of Taxation New Jersey perspective?
Yes. So if someone is a 501c3 type organization, that type of organization in New Jersey is sales tax exempt. What that means is that they do not pay sales tax for any items that they are purchasing for the exclusive use of the entity or the organization, the nonprofit organization. Mm-hmm. So in order to get that type of designation, however, they have to file a special registration form. So when I was going through the registration steps, I mentioned doing the form NJREG. They don't do the NJREG. They do a form called the Reg 1E for exempt. When they complete the Reg 1E, indicating that they are a federal 501c3 type organization, we then will send them a special exemption certificate that they can use to make purchases and avoid paying sales tax.
Awesome. So that's really huge to know about the sales tax process with it, because especially as a C3 and running a C3, that is a big advantage for you when you're doing programs and events. That really does help you a lot of times be more cost effective and allows you to put a lot more back to your mission, which I think is fantastic. The state does that. So, Abra, I'm really glad you brought that up. And just switching over real quick, Kelly, does the NJSBDC help nonprofit organizations?
Oh,
They're funded.
trying to get my camera back up. So gotta love technology when you want to use it and it hits you. So the short answer is yes. We actually help nonprofits as well. And one thing that I want to sort of state to everybody is coming soon. Is we are going to be also offering up some legal clinics where we're looking at helping businesses on contract opportunities. Yes, I know there's a lot of people that do starts, and we do starts as well, but we'll have, we're going to be partnering with Rutgers Business School to actually put on these legal clinics. So there's going to be much more that comes in, both to help with nonprofit as well as for-profit businesses. So I think that that's really important for everybody to be aware. We're in the process right now of putting it in place. So if you go to our website, which I'm sure, Craig, that you'll have listed, stay tuned, because we'll put a tab at the top of opportunities to be eligible to go to these legal clinics. So, but that's a long drawn out answer. Yes, we help nonprofits too.
Awesome. No, thank you, Kelly.
Can I
There's always
add something? I'd like to add something. If they Google getting registered in New Jersey, it takes you directly to Doors' website, and they can register a nonprofit just as simply as a for-profit. Also, taxation has a checklist for forming a nonprofit, and the New Jersey State Libraries also offer technical assistance and capacity building to nonprofits, as well as
awesome.
the SBDC.
Excellent. Thank you, Anthony. So real quick, but before we go, Abra, I know you brought this up, but I think one thing that's always important, registered agents are one of those things that most small business owners don't know about or don't remember how to become one, or anything else in between. So could you just recap a couple key important points about a registered agent, what it is, what you have to do to be eligible for it, and why it's important for your business?
Could you also, if you know, let us know how to register with Doors to be a registered agent for out-of-state businesses?
Yes, I don't know that part of it, so I'll have to check with revenue myself. But what I will tell you is that in order to be a registered agent, you have to be at least 18 years of age or older if you're an individual. And you must be available during normal business hours, and you must have a physical location within the state of New Jersey. So if you meet that criteria, you can be a registered agent. I do know that there are certain, there's a listing of registered agents that foreign entities can look for that are already, on our list of acceptable registered agents. They could certainly do that. But it's really important that, again, that the registered agent has a physical location in New Jersey, that they're available during normal business hours to receive mail on behalf of the business. Now, I also always point out, because from my days of working in the call center, if someone was a registered agent for a business and forgot, and they're all of a sudden getting notices in the mail for the business, they would call us panicked, like, this isn't my business. Why are you sending these notices to me? I don't owe this money. So I really try to emphasize to people that as the registered agent, you are merely a place or where we can deliver legal notifications. You are not legally responsible for any actions that the business has taken, other than receive their mail and make sure you notify them. So
awesome. Excellent. No, and I think overall you nailed it right on the head with that, gave great information on that. I think there's a lot more to learn about registered agents and a point of a conversation we can have with them. Because as a small business owner, you do not need to put your home address down as your mailing address when the state asks you for it. So there's a lot of really good things that a registered agent offers, and it's one of those cool tips that you don't normally know. And there's other things that you and I talked about prior to the start of the program, business registration certificate, simple things like changing your address for that and making sure you're registered. And that's why programs like this are so important, especially that we learned during COVID. Some businesses weren't properly registered, they weren't properly set up, and they couldn't get access to some of the funds they needed. So again, back to our conversation with stuff, as a business owner, it's important to be proactive. We will have more programs on this topic as it relates to it, especially as it gets closer to tax season. which we get to more of reactive versus proactive with it. So I just wanted to take a second and make sure I thank the entire New Jersey Business Action Center team, including their fabulous executive director, Melanie Willoughby, for her leadership in getting this program set up. I want to go ahead and thank Kelly Bronza from the New Jersey Small Business Development Center, the CEO and state director. I wanted to make sure that I thanked Abra Watson, Acting Supervisor, Taxation University, New Jersey Division of Taxation. And I also want to go ahead and I want to thank Daryl Tucker, Taxpayer Advocate with the IRS Taxpayer Advocate. And of course, I want to thank from the New Jersey Business Action Center, Anthony Martinez, who is the Assistant Manager of Office of Small Business Advocacy. And I have to say, Lauren was absolutely fantastic, Anthony, and worked with us getting this set up and the entire team. So for that, everyone have a wonderful day. Please look for the follow-up resources. There'll be more programs to come. Take advantage of what's out there to help you because everyone wants to see you succeed. And that starts with being proactive, planning, and being a successful business owner. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and have a fantastic week. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.